Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hope that everybody made it back okay. So we are back for another SpaceX launch. We just got the opportunity to watch Falcon Heavy from Kennedy Space Center. And now from the next pad over, we are about to watch a Starlink mission. SpaceX is targeting today, December 28th, for a Falcon 9 launch of 23 Starlink satellites to low Earth orbit from Space Launch Complex 40, SLC-40 at Cape Canaveral Space Force Station in Florida. Liftoff is targeted for exactly 15 minutes from now at 11:01 p.m. Eastern, with backup opportunities available until 2:59. So there is an opportunity for it to be pushed. We hope that it actually starts on time and goes off without a hitch. I think SpaceX is going to try and push this one because they would love nothing more than to see back-to-backs. This is the 12th flight for the first stage booster supporting this mission, which previously launched CRS-24, Eutelsat HOTBIRD 13F, OneWeb 1, SES-18, SES-19, and 7 additional Starlink missions. Following the stage separation, the first stage will land on a shortfall of Gravitas drone ship, which will be stationed in the Atlantic Ocean. So this is what our mission schedule looks like today. T-minus 38 minutes, SpaceX Launch Director verifies go for propellant load. So we've already done that. RP1 and LOX will be flowing into the first and second stage, and that will already have taken place. What hasn't yet is Falcon 9 begins engine chill prior to launch at T-minus 7. T-minus 1 minute, command flight computer to begin final pre-launch checks. T-minus 1 minute, propellant tank pressurization to flight pressure begins. T-minus 45 seconds, SpaceX Launch Director verifies go for launch. T-minus 3 seconds, engine controller commands ignition sequence start. And at all zeros, we get liftoff of Falcon 9. So we start with launch and ascent, followed by stage separation and a flip maneuver. After that, we'll get an entry burn with aerodynamic guidance from those giant one-piece titanium grid fins, and then a vertical landing on the autonomous drone ship. I actually don't know which one this is. Is this just read the instructions? I don't think they said. Oh, Shortfall of Gravitas. My apologies. So again, we're getting that heavy turn on the profile for the launch. So be interesting to see. Interesting to see where that's going from there. Launch, landing, and deployment. 1 minute and 12 seconds. Max Q, the moment of peak mechanical stress on the rocket. T plus 2 minutes and 27 seconds. First stage engine cutoff, or MECO. 3 seconds later, the first and second stages will separate. And 7 seconds after that, we get second engine start, or SES-1. Wait about 30 seconds after that, and we get fairing deployment. Those fairings will float back to Earth, and Bob will try and catch them. At T plus 6 minutes and 9 seconds, first stage entry burn begins. At T plus 6 minutes and 32 seconds, first stage entry burn ends. At T plus 8 minutes and 4 seconds, first stage landing burn begins. And about 22 seconds after that, we will see a successful landing of the specific rocket. The second stage will continue into space, taking the payload to its designed destination. We'll get MECO-1 at 8:40 into flight. Then there'll be a significant coast phase, and we will not have another event until second engine start at T plus 54 minutes and 11 seconds. That burn will be approximately 1 second, so just a slight correction. And after that, there's about an 11-minute window with another coast until the Starlink satellites deploy. So that's what our mission looks like today. Again, we have another very flat, very sharp curved mission. So it'll be interesting to see. So we're about 5 minutes out from SpaceX's coverage to start. Welcome to the channel. If you're new here, please hit that subscribe. Please hit that bell for notifications. And please leave a like on the video. I cover rocket launches exclusively. Generally, most of them are SpaceX because SpaceX is so prevalent in the launch game, but we cover everything. Firefly, what's the other one? Rocket Labs. Sorry, couldn't think of it. United Launch Alliance, NASA, and anybody else is in the game. Roscosmos, pretty much any provider that's going up, we'll certainly cover it live, if at all possible. Astra, any of the new upcoming companies, we'll definitely take a look at and cover the launch. Like we said, we just had a very successful launch of the Falcon Heavy that took the X-37B space plane for NASA for further scientific discovery and research. So that's always a fun one as well. And if you're into spaceflight and you want to learn more, there is a video out. Like I said, it's rather long, but it is B-1058, SpaceX's most historic workhorse launch vehicle. And its first stage had 19 total launches, and you can watch all 19 in their entirety over on the Every Flight for the Historic SpaceX Booster B-1058 video. Like I said, it had an unfortunate accident where it tipped and it was lost to the ocean because of heavy ocean activity, heavy ocean waves. Also, while we have a moment, looking at upcoming spaceflight, tonight is that Falcon 9 Starlink 6-3 from SLC-40 at Cape Canaveral. Tomorrow we have Saturday, we have a Falcon 9 Starlink 7-9 mission, and that will be from SLC-4E at Vandenberg Space Force Base in California. And that will be it for the remainder of the year. That will close us out. But next year will be nothing short of awesome spaceflight. We start with the Falcon 9 Ovzon mission. It's a Swedish geostationary satellite, so that will be fun to watch. Also, we have a Vulcan Centaur. So ULA's Vulcan Centaur rocket will launch its inaugural flight, hopefully on January 8th. Axiom 3 will be a crew space mission, and that will be sometime in mid-January. And then NG-20 at the end of January, the Cygnus cargo freightliner. Also, we'll have certainly some Falcon 9s that will take up Starlinks. There might be some more missions in between. Also, we have Atlas 5 USSF-51. So, another ULA, Atlas 5. That's going to take up another payload. Could be another space plane. But for now, it's undisclosed payload for the U.S. military. And then into February, we have PACE IM-1. So it's going to be a busy start to the year. USSF 124, how I said, they don't number them based on when they take off. They number them based on when the mission's proposed. So we already have a USSF 124, and we just launched a USS F-52 tonight. So the naming convention's weird, but and like that, we have SpaceX coming. Digger, good to see you. Dazzer, hello, hello. That's what we got to start here. This is, again, going to be one of those very steep turn missions. So, very steep right turn. Come on, SpaceX. Sorry, broken link, ignore that. No worries. Of course, all the clouds disappeared now. Of course. And just like that, we're T-minus 5 minutes. Getting ready for that strong back retract. As I said in the past, it goes back a couple degrees, giving some space for the rocket, and then it goes back about 15 degrees when we're ready for launch.
Strong back retract.
So we're starting to get callouts already. Digger might actually be able to delete the broken link because she's a managing mod. But I don't know. So we got that good call out for strong back retract. As you can see, the flight tower is not as extravagant as 39A. 39A, again, is the Apollo mission. So SpaceX took a lot of time and care, as they well should have, with such a historic building, to make it the flagship. So for some reason, I'm not able to erase my messages. No 3 dots for me. Huh. That's interesting. Let me see if I can. Yeah, I can. There we go. I can do anyone but my own. So we're starting to hear that bad boy come to life. So as you see, it's a much more basic tower. SpaceX has the two 39A and 40. More if necessary. They lease them from NASA at Cape Canaveral. And again, as you see those 3 tall white towers surrounding the spacecraft, those are lightning rods. They just soak up the lightning because
Stage 1 LOX load is complete.
Some of these vehicles can be fueled with RP1 prior. Because RP1 is not cryogenic. It is a carbon-based fuel that can sit at room temperature. It is liquid kerosene. So they can be fueled and put on the pad. Or you have things like Atlas that have a solid booster configuration that can sit on the pad for some time. So it's important to dissipate the lightning load from the vehicle. Not only that, they also have critical electrical systems on the launch vehicles that would be bad if they were struck or overloaded by current. So there's so much lightning here. I walk around with a rod in my pocket. And again, we see that beautiful puffy stuff coming off the rocket. That means we're getting closer. That is the liquid oxygen that is at cryogenic temperatures, that is being influenced by the warm Florida air, warm and humid Florida air. So it's condensing and making what we like to call puffy stuff.
Ground gas closeouts.
And then we get a good call for gas closeouts. So we'll see more of that starting to vent. You can see it venting from the strong back. We're coming up on those critical times. Flight tank pressurization. We're coming up on rocket on internal power and internal computers. And then in about 15 seconds, we'll come up on go, no go pole.
Falcon 9 is in startup.
And Falcon 9 is in startup. That means the computers on the rocket have control of the count.
Go for launch.
And we are go for launch. Got a good go call out from the go, no go pole. So now we just wait. About T-minus 30 seconds here, 33.
T-minus 30 seconds.
There we go. Go SpaceX, go Falcon 9, go Starlink. And within 3 hours, we had a Falcon Heavy and a Falcon 9
seconds.
back to back. Pretty impressive, if you ask me.
T-minus 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition. And liftoff.
Beautiful.
Vehicle is pitching downrange.
And that immediate turn.
Stage 1 chamber pressure is nominal.
So chamber pressure is the pressure inside the chamber of the engines. And we're coming up on supersonic.
Power and telemetry are nominal.
And Falcon 9 is...
Falcon 9 is supersonic.
There we go. Dog is barking. Yeah, it went directly over top again. They like that mission profile recently. I don't know why, but it must be working out for them. And we punched right through max Q, so now they'll be throttling up the remainder of the engines to finish the flight. Max Q is the maximum aerodynamic pressure on the launch vehicle. Yeah, this rocket is much more right than the Falcon Heavy. Yeah, this one was a very right profile. Very hard right profile. So now we see we're picking up speed there, almost at 5,000 kilometers per hour. Looks like the first stage is going to do a lot of the heavy lifting with that gravity-assisted turn tonight. Using the Earth's gravity to help instead of hinder. And as you can see, we're getting towards the top of the atmosphere, so that plume on those stage 1 engines are starting
MECO.
to spread out.
Confirmed.
And we have a good stage sep. So engine cutoff, stage separation, and now a light of the MVAC, the vacuum optimized Merlin engine. There are only one of those on the second stage, and that is more than enough thrust because of the low air resistance. So now we'll see that right side continue to pick up speed. It will land somewhere in that 27,000 kilometers per hour is where they've been.
Separation confirmed.
There's our fairing. See if Bob can catch it this time. And yet again, that first stage, or the left stage, is doing that flip maneuver. And we'll see a couple different things. We'll see speed kind of pick up as it's being drawn back into the Earth. Then we'll see that first stage entry burn that will slow about, I don't know, just a little bit. We have to give him a break. Well, there's Doug too, but Bob has been his favorite recently. So then we'll see a slight slowdown with that entry burn. Then we'll see it pick up speed again before it starts encountering atmosphere. Once it starts encountering atmosphere, it will start bleeding off speed very, very quickly until we enter our landing burn, which will be just that center Merlin engine that will slow the rocket down enough for the landing legs to deploy and touch down safely on the drone ship. Shortfall of Gravitas. One of the McKenzie brothers. Again, we continue to see that speed pick up on stage 2. Telemetry looks great for tonight's mission. And just that fast, those Starlink satellites are in space.
Vehicle is following a nominal trajectory.
Vehicles following nominal trajectory. We just said that. I always think the prettiest part is that second stage, the glowing engine. Gives you an idea of what's going on inside there. Pretty violent, but that's what propels the rocket. So
Stage 1 FTS is safe.
stage 1 FTS
Stage
safe.
1 entry burn startup.
So they turn off that flight termination system, the system that they would use to basically blow the rocket out of the sky in case there was any kind of issue. Think of the astronauts, Bob and Doug. Yeah.
Stage 1 entry burn shutdown.
And shutdown. So like we said, we start to see
Stage
it.
2 FTS is saved.
And that means that we're nominal on the orbital insertion because they've safed the flight termination system on stage 2. Now we start encountering atmosphere on that first stage, that left-hand stage.
Vehicle is following a nominal trajectory.
Holding nominal. So they burn for about another minute and a half, probably. And then they'll cut off that stage 2.
Stage 1 transonic.
We're probably not going to get anything until that landing burn begins. Just because it's kind of dark. I don't see any houses like we did with Falcon Heavy, but that one was coming back. This one's obviously landing off the coast on a drone ship, so makes
Stage
sense.
2 and terminal guidance. Stage 1 landing burn.
Landing burn. Should see those legs deploy here.
Landing leg deploy.
Ooh,
Stage 1 landing confirmed.
there we go. Got a good view. There we go. And stage 2 is just about that 27. There's 27.
MECO.
2757 is our speed today. And that is yet another successful mission. And just to conceptualize that, 8 minutes and 50 seconds. The first stage booster has already taken a payload to space and returned to Earth. And the payload is just now hitting space. So 8 minutes. That's all it takes. 8 minutes. It's pretty impressive. You got to love the job that SpaceX is continuing to do. It is truly impressive. So my favorite part after liftoff is always landing the boosters. Just an amazing thing. Yeah, no. And Daz and I were talking about it, and used to be science fiction, and now it happens quite regularly. So thank you very much. This was enjoyable. New channel is going to be great. Thank you, Scat. I appreciate it. So thank you. So that's going to be it for me this evening. Like I said, Saturday there's a Starlink 7.9 out of Vandenberg. That one will be about 10 p.m. Eastern, 7:17 Pacific. So I guess 10:17 p.m. Eastern. And there's a pretty good launch window for that. This is the original one that was delayed from December 14th, 15th, and then delayed on the 28th. So, but that's going to be it for me tonight. I hope you guys have a wonderful evening, and I hope to see you again here on Saturday. Have a good night, y'all.